I'm V, and I'm on a mission to keep on progressing as a guitar player and keep myself out of guitar ruts. Today I wanted to add to my Guitar Glossary, which is a playlist that I'm collecting a whole lot of terms such as theory, guitar terms, all that kind of stuff. This is the second video. The first one was all about kicking off with some foundational knowledge or some foundational theory, which was focused on Ionian, or the major scale. This one continues on all those foundations and is going to go into Aeolian, or the minor scale. Now there's a couple of really cool things around the major minor scales, and that's there's two formulas that's really useful to know. So the last one I went through those formulas for the major scale or the Ionian scale mode. This one I'm going to go through the formulas for the Aeolian or the minor scale. So the formulas that I'm going to run through, the first formula is about finding the notes all over the fretboard. So it doesn't matter where you start with a root note, you should, using this formula, be able to find the notes in the scale all over the fretboard. The second formula is really focusing on the chord combinations. So major, minor, diminished, dominant, for example, which isn't in the minor scale, but seeing the kind of chord combinations that come into play based on the scale or the key that you're playing in. So the first formula is around finding the notes all across the fretboard. So if you saw the first video, you'll recall that we spoke about how there's 12 notes in music, and really the formula or the scale is selecting 7 notes in those 12 notes that are a nice harmony with the root note or with each other. So when it comes to the note formula, what we're really doing is we're looking for the pattern between whole and half steps on the fretboard. So a whole step is 2 frets, so 1, 2, so from the E, 1, 2, that's a whole step. A half step is 1 fret. So for example, that's a half step from that note there. And the formula for the minor scale is whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. And what that looks like on the fretboard, if we start from this open E, so the root note open E, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, and then whole again, which is back on the root note a whole octave up. So let's apply it to a scale pattern, for example. Now let's use this one that most people know, one of the first ones that we learn, which is the A minor pentatonic, or the A minor. We'll use a full scale. I'll go into pentatonic and what that's all about in another video. Essentially penta means 5, so we're selecting 5 notes instead of 7, but we'll go through that next time. So again, starting from this root note of the A, we go whole step, half step, whole step. Now that note is the same as that one, but again, that's really hard for the fingers, so nice little pattern following where the fingers are landing there. Whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. And that's an octave up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the 1. So again, you could apply that anywhere. So if I was to go the A up here, which is really cool. So that's the note pattern. And there's a whole lot of other stuff that you can do to try and remember where the notes are across the fretboard. I like the cage system. I'll go through that in another video as to why I love it so much and how I've used it to help me apply a whole lot of stuff like you know, finding notes all over the fretboard, understanding scale patterns and where they sit and how to find them all, and triads and all sorts of other stuff. That's really cool out of the cage system. But again, not for this video. That's later on down the track. The second formula that's really useful to know is knowing which chord, I guess, structures you're going to use with the scale, with the minor scale. So with the minor scale, we're looking at minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, and major. What we've got here is a minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major, and back to minor, or back here. So again, minor, diminished, major, minor, minor. I'm doing a minor 7. I can't help myself. I'm so used to doing it. Major, major, and back to minor. Now, some people might have noticed, if you watched my last video, I did the C major chord formula, and you may have noticed that they're actually the same chords. That's because the C major and the A minor are relative to each other. So C major is relative major to A minor, and A minor is a relative minor to C major. So essentially what that means is that they're using the same notes and the same chord patterns. So they've got the same formulas, but they're starting at a different position or a different root note. But again, I'll go through that in a separate video because that was a really big aha moment for me, and really unlocked a lot of stuff for me about understanding the fretboard and understanding how it all works. All right, so anyway, that's the Aeolian scale, or the minor scale. Oh, sorry, I should say Aeolian mode and minor scale. If you found that useful, or if you're on the same journey as me and you're trying to stay out a guitar rut, would love to hear from you, would love to hear about the things that you're focusing on. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.